Hello everybody, welcome back to From Rhythm to Algorithm Part 19, Equations of Motion. Last episode we finished up with a fundamental theorem, and again this should be overwhelmingly intuitively evident. Reality reiterates. What is reality? Right? It's a big statement people say, but the answers, again, all answers are simple, logically, linguistically, everything. But first thing I want to point out is equations of motion. Now that we've at least introduced that there's for sure some solidification of the iteration. Reality, prefix, suffix, prefix, rates. So the only word in that statement that I haven't reduced logically is rate. So now we're going to get, and the proper terminology or proper ontology for rate is rate of reaction, more so chemistry. So what we're going to start doing now is, there'll be some proofs, just a lot of discussion. We're going to start trying to bridge my logic and mathematics literally directly into physics and into chemistry proper, the subjects you go on and learn in school right now today. So again, the equations of motion, prepositional phrase, variable is now equation. What is an equation? Logically, we've demonstrated that the basis is. But sound is the basis of language, plus we've now proven infinite biological uniqueness. Well, we can just make the immediate statement, there's unique pronunciation, right? We all make the same sounds, but because we have physically different mass structures and vocal cord lengths and life experience and blah, 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 we sound different, right? Go watch a proof by ensembles. Go watch a bunch of people singing. If you focus on one person, you can discern their actual resonance. Again, that's just a quick proof. It's factual. But now I just wanted to show the structure and the logical evolution of the word reality, right? And the proof is, what is this word? R-E-A-L-I-T-Y. Realty. Now try to pronounce, now just simply put that I, the sound E represented by the I, which we've proven. What is this word? All right. Try to pronounce that any other way than reality. And it's, again, what is a realtor? Do you know exactly what I'm talking about? Direct logical proof. But reality, what you're saying, the sound, the correct linguistical representation is R-E-I-L-I-T-Y. Reality, right? Then we can expand that again, or talk about the concept sensorality with an S, and that is all sensorality produces sensation, which produces sentiment. That shark that we don't want to punch in the face, is he worried about who the president is? Is he worried about the stimulus package? Is he worried about COVID? Sensorality is life in general. Reality is your local awareness of your economy, of your ecosystem, of your species. Sensorality produces speciality. And again, it's just proven by this, you know what a realtor is. So that's a quick logical proof. Just to bring in a couple other ideas from part 18. And now we're going to just talk about Newtonian equations of motion. I'll start the camera over, but the reason I talk about Newton as the most accomplished scientist is because of biological uniqueness. And when other people can't do the mathematics independently, like Albert Einstein took, I don't know, Riemannian, whatever, I don't know how to pronounce the name, but that geometry, and said, this applies to my ideas. It's a true intellectual step down, and the result is kind of goofy. So really the only thing I take away from big conceptual ideas, gravity is a shape, and once you make that discerning thing, shape is to structure. So structure is geometry. Geometry is not physics. So I think there's a lot more insight into Newtonian mechanics, but we're going to talk about the equations of motion for non-inertial reference frames, things that are not accelerating. So let me start over to make sure I have enough time. So now I'm going to stop lecturing and literally try to do physics, me personally right now, because you can't say what you don't know. You haven't proven something until you've proven something. Close, very close to something. Not sure what it is yet, but what logical differentiations, right? It is what it is the basis and reduced form of all logical deduction. But the point of a mathematical proof at the higher levels is to create new questions that can be answered. We've provided the logical foundations of proof. Now let's expand our logic. Let's make new stuff. Let's develop the arguments more. So written out as words, force is mass times acceleration, right? First of all, force, that's the English word for, the French sound se, for it, is mass times acceleration. And to be clear about my notation, again, the sentences provide infinitely more logical implication than a mathematical equation. And all of this is what I've called R3. This is all past. Okay, so we'll talk about quantum mechanics and Stern-Gerlach and entanglement a little bit, but again, it's basically everything's colliding all of the time, so it's not, there's no like big conceptual differences about quantum mechanics that we need to cover for this part. But that reduces to the equation force is mass times acceleration. And again, I have a one-way equation sign with an arrow saying this is the only way to represent force correctly in known ontology. And there's, again, because of biological uniqueness, there's a one-to-one mapping for all translation. So force equals mass times acceleration. Force, mass, acceleration. What can we say about what we've learned about light and mass from my derivations? Well, light doesn't have mass, so light does not accelerate, so light does not exert a force. That's what I mean when I say this is all R3. Or vibrational information. Momentum is a measure of movement. We've demonstrated, and that is represented in current ontology as P, two-sided arrows, right? I can exert a force on the ground and walk over there. I can stop. I can change direction. The overall conservation of momentum still exists. That's why there's a two-sided arrow notationally. But mass times velocity. So again, mass, light does not have mass, so it does not have momentum, which is tremendous for Einsteinian. Again, I went to school for 2.5 years, picked up stuff here and there, but I don't, like, there is no, light does not exert momentum, period. So there's a formulation for the momentum of a photon, literally throw it away, never look at it again, completely logically inconsistent. Energy is the potential for movement. And at these very beginning lectures, we talked about, right, word salad, potential energy, that's word salad. Tension is the word to replace the concept of potential energy. So tension is the potential for movement. I don't like that logically. So I would say tension is the capacity for movement, or tension measures the capacity for change. If you're in a tense conversation, there's a chance people might throw fists, literally. So tension, still not clear to me what tension replaces exactly for these big structure implications. But E equals h nu, right? That's the energy level for a photon. But we've shown energy ends in E, replaced by vibration, is a measurement of light. So we can make the logical deduction saying, or physical deduction saying, energy is a word only for light? I think so. Sounds right to me. I mean, it sounds off. I don't know what to do with it, but that sounds right. Again, at the beginning of these lectures, we said a collision is an exchange of momentum. So momentum, or rhythm, regulates collisions optimally. And so we can start talking about, again, the rates of reaction in chemistry class. Rhythm exchanges momentum optimally. Do something faster. You formed a rhythm. If you're not at your optimal rhythm, by definition and by physical experience, you're doing stuff less efficient than optimal. Rhythm releases tension. Sex, exercise, done. Conceptually in generality, velocity. Now we can write it, city, velocity. And that's completely a general word. So light does not have velocity either. Right? These are all, right, a system with mass changes its position in time. Acceleration, same thing, already covered. Power. Power is a word to me that just, the domain strikes me as electricity and magnetism. Again, for electricity and magnetism, something strikes me very intuitively that maybe some sort of superconducting thing at room temperature, and then you move magnets or something. Impulse and pulse. Impulse obviously uses one less syllable than impulse, but if you modify the equations of motion for Newtonian mechanics in non-inertial reference frames at constant velocities, or with more specifically without acceleration, well, then you can get an impulse equation. And this directly solves the Navier-Stokes equation. You can directly solve Navier-Stokes with direct Newtonian mechanics with the proper conceptual understanding. I probably won't do that here. Again, I'm just literally just trying to differentiate myself, these different concepts and different sentences and orders of words. But work, right? Rhythm limits disorder. Work requires movement. Change requires movement. Disorder is improportional to work. So work is proportional to order. Rhythm increases order. Rhythm orders. To order is to command. That's what I wanted to say there. Again, like I said, I wanted to try to get into rates of reactions or related rates, like literally the variable calculus you do in school. But I really wanted to cover the proof of reality through a relator. And this, I mean, again, these are all logical theorems. Like, these are all true. So you see, from rhythm to algorithm, we've deduced algorithm entirely, and now we're literally trying to stuff rhythm as a concept into the entirety of physical ontology. And we are getting close. So that's what I wanted to cover in this episode. Thanks for watching part 19.